probably the last one. Oh, what can this one be for? Oh, I remember one of my trips down to Wimbledon Village, or actually Wimbledon Town and Wimbledon Village. I went to this pub called the Hand and Racket, which is in Wimbledon Town. And I think I went to Wimbledon Village first, and then I come back to this pub, not far from the tube and train station. And I think nearby there's a little shopping centre called Centre Court, and I think what could I have to eat? So I saw there was a steak pie. You could have half a pie for like $6.99, or a full pie for $8.99, with mashed potatoes and or peas. I just went for mashed potato, and it was really was a lovely, lovely, lovely pie. So on the next trip down, because we went up to Wimbledon Village to see the house where the late actress Imogen Hassel lived and where she was found dead in 1980. I don't think we went to the Gap Road Cemetery, where her grave is right at the back of the cemetery, and there's the back gate. And then if you want to visit a grave, if you're a Carry On fan, go to the very back of the Gap Road Cemetery. So you cut through the central bit of it, and then you go around this little round bit, which I think is a Garden of Remembrance. And you get to the very back where there's a gate, because obviously there's maisonettes and flats on the side of the fence. So you get to the gate and you turn left, so you're like, the perimeter fence is to your right. You just go a little bit, and her grave is the stone with the inscription is flat. It's not stood up. It's flat. And there's a little urn. I think if you're facing the grave, there's a little urn, I think, with Imogen on it or something. We didn't go there that time. No, I'll tell him about this this pie. And good news was, I think the dairy, because I didn't know if I forgot it was in Wimbledon Town, not the village. So where is it? Oh, it's down here. Anyway, I saw it, and at the time the exterior was actually covered in scaffolding. I went inside, ordered the same pie that I had only a couple of months before, but it must be a different chef, because even if there was slithers of onion in it, they weren't really noticeable when I had it the time before. But I started tucking into this one, and I noticed big chunks of onion. Oh, that put me right off. It didn't stop Jeff. He was tucking in like bloody Bob, like a JCB digger, tucking into a mound of soil. Me, I picked through it, and it ruined it for me, because it was exactly the same pie at the time before. Like I said, if there was onion in it, they were so well hidden I didn't even notice, even see them. But this one, the chunks of onion were noticeable. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. But one of the best pies I had, and this is thanks to Jeffrey Horn introducing me to the borough of the Borough, all because of his obsession and love for Stock Aitken and Waterman Peed Whale Productions. I didn't know why we're going to this, the borough. We come out of Borough Tube Station. We walk down whatever road it is. We didn't notice that there was a little ginnel or snicket or passageway that would have taken us, basically it would have made it a shortcut. And we walked to the bottom, turn left, then turn left into Vine Yard. He said in the video, vineyard. It's not vineyard, it's two separate words, it's vineyard. Then walked up to this red brick building, 2-story building at the back of Borough Tube Station. And then walked around to where the main entrance was. And he's photographing it like scene of crimes officer, forensically photographing this building. I didn't know why we were there. And look at this office building at the rear of Borough Tube Station in Vineyard. But he's like snapping away like crazy. And then eventually we exited Vineyard. I pointed out the little snicket where we could have, it would have been a shortcut, but that's by the by now. Walked to the bottom where we first come in, turn left, and then walk towards Lant Street, where the Glad, or the Gladstone Arms, which was their local watering hole at the time, where some of the artists used to go. And I did a little instruction where on one of his videos, which is now on YouTube. We went inside, and there was a band that were playing there that night. Now, if anyone knows, so we're talking maybe 2009, 2010. So if you remember, you were in a band and you played at the Gladstone Arms, or the Glad, in Lant Street in the borough. The band was called, I think it was called Fireworks Night. Now you try and imagine searching for that, and you know what results you get on Google, even Yahoo. There was a bloke in the corner on these little drums. There's I think a lass, I think on a violin. I can't know. And they asked us if we were coming later on to the gig, but as we weren't locals, we just we would love to but we're temporarily based in Borehamwood. If we were locals, like in Southwark or the borough, or even just over the side river, like Tower Hill, whatever, we would have gone to the gig, but we weren't locals. I've got a little video of them rehearsing on YouTube, and they're called Fireworks Night. So if anyone remembers, if they knew of someone in the band called Fireworks Night, going back now, at least probably 17 years ago, and they did a gig on a Saturday night at the Gladstone Arms in the borough on Lant Street, be nice to hear from you. But they I don't know if they still do it, but they do lovely pies there, bubbly pie with mash and gravy, and the menu of it was the pie minster, and that's at the Gladstone Arms. Oh my god! I said, thanks for showing me that pub, Jeff. They do fucking excellent steak and ale pies, and the gravy lovely and rich. I mean, I can't recommend the pies at the Gladstone Arms in the borough enough. Like the pies that the food at the Hand and Racket in Wimbledon town, and they do a lovely chili at the White Hart on was it Commercial Street, Aldgate. You know, it's 2 pubs, actually 3 pubs. 2 that I probably never get a chance now, because one of them's now turned into offices. And it was one opposite the Aldgate bus station. And it was the Aldgate Exchange. That's now gone. One on the same side as the Aldgate bus station. So that's the same street where that massive East London mosque is, and the Blind Beggar, and that company that makes church bells, and St Thomas's Hospital where the Elephant Man stayed. It was the Still and Star. Because when I was going down this passageway to get to Still and Star, it was still decked out with hanging baskets, and all the signage was still up. It still looked like it was a functioning pub. But I think it's long since changed its use. It's probably a private house now. So yeah, the Aldgate Exchange I never get a chance to go to again. I never had a chance to go to the Still and Star, which is very close to the Aldgate bus station. And there's one pub that I passed a few times. I think I even passed it once with Jeff. It says it's Bethnal Green. It's called the Dog and Truck. Oh, another kind of appeal. Again, this is a long shot. We're talking again 2009, 2010. There was a free event in a place called, I think it's near Camden Town. It's called Castle Haven. It's Castle Haven open area. And there was a little stage set up. I think it was like some kind of anti-racist slogan was on the thingy. So like, hate, love music, hate racism, something like that. And there was a band, obviously an unsigned band, were playing on the stage. I think they had a gig in a little bar later on that evening. And I filmed them. I'm not sure where I put it on that, but they got in touch with me saying, "Oh, could you please remove that footage? I don't think we played very well that day." I didn't remove the footage, I just changed the name and removed any hashtags. But I wish I'd kept the name in the description somewhere, because if anyone can remember playing at this hate racism, love life open event at the Castle Haven open area, where there's I know there's a plaque. Apparently during the war it was bombed, but it's definitely Castle Haven, the open park area. And this was again, we're talking maybe 15, 16, 17 years ago. And there was this like indie band was on the stage, and I filmed them, but for the life of me I can't remember the name. That was one of my solo trips with but the ones I look forward to, obviously, were the ones when Mr. Horn was my +1. Even that moment at Camden Town tube station when he let someone with a big jumper get on the tube station, and as he was about to get on, the bloody door shut. I think it was at was either Golders Green or Burnt Oak, where the underground becomes open to the elements so you can get a signal. I said I'm at Burnt Oak or Golders Green, and he goes, I'm on the next train. So obviously, because one train goes to Barnet and obviously the other one goes to Edgware, and we wanted Edgware. So we did like reunite at Edgware tube station. Hey Tommy. Oh, he's a good cat, ain't he, Tommy? I mean, I had a slight panic at the time, but Jeff was calm and composed. He knew the dance. You just got to look out for the next tube that goes to Edgware. And he did it. And once he got a signal, obviously he got in touch. So yeah, so if there's anyone who remembers a band called Fireworks Night that we're doing a gig at the Gladstone Arms in the Borough on Lant Street, we saw them rehearsing in the afternoon, and the unnamed indie band that played at this, I've got the picture somewhere. There was some kind of fight racism banner, and they say it was at Castlehaven open area, where there's a plaque to it's to commemorate those that were lost when it was bombed in the war. And there was this, I'm sure this indie band was on this little inflatable stage. It was a stage with an inflatable surrounding, and they were like doing a few songs to a relatively modest crowd. It wasn't like a pack, but hats off to them for getting on stage and having a go. And they somehow got in touch with them on Facebook. It might have been Facebook. I put the video on and I tagged them in it, and they, like I said, they thought they were playing. They thought the performance was underwhelming, and they didn't want it to be on thing. But I said, look, I kept it on, but I just removed the name of the band. So if anyone members of this band, which is probably not in existence anymore, like Fireworks Night or the Gladstone, if anyone knows of them, I like to, say, are they still good? But see, I still remember all this stuff. I can't remember the fucking band's name. That was at the Castlehaven. I'll have to try and remember what that banner was. It was some kind of promote love, hate, fascism or something like that, racism, on his banner. But this is another one which is going onto my Facebook group. It's due to the length of the video that I might as well upload it onto YouTube and then share the link into the group. Again, like with all my videos. If you get to a point where you're starting to go into Yawnsville, just stop. Watch something else. Just can do without bloody arsehole comments. As soon as if I don't like something, either music or whatever, stop watching it. Watch something that I do know I like. So if you come across this by chance and you kind of go along with it, thank you very much. I'm not exactly expecting festival numbers in viewing pleasure. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, just find something else. But I like the idea, because the group which I've got now on Facebook, which is the London and Bold Memory Project, something like that, originally was two separate groups, going back to when everyone who was non-essential was furloughed or flexi-furloughed, and COVID was rampant and all that shit. So I had one for like London and one for borehamwood and Elstree. But even I fell out with it. I just couldn't be arsed, so I think I dissolved both the groups. And then when I realised how many pictures I had, that I started to create the new group, which is still needs a bit of fine tuning. But I want to like bring some of these pictures and some memories back to life before, the old grain cells start to fade, and then, because I still like that when I've done a few times now, that I'll briefly touch on it because I've uploaded it before, and that is when Jeff was there. We were in Prince Pizza, on Shenley Road in Borehamwood. Obviously our pieces were in mid-production, and that on a quiet, deserted Shenley Road, because there was hardly any traffic on it at all, because this couple were in the middle of the road, and the bloke was the aggressor, shouting, ranting and raving and almost, I say, foaming at the mouth. She was very upset, very emotionally upset, and getting into a bit of a state. And after a few moments, she went in the direction of the church and the bottom end of Shenley Road, like going away from the train station, and he went back in the direction of the train station. I don't know where he went, because obviously we were in the pizza shop, and I still come back to that little memory. It's still there, and like I said to Jeff, I'm trying to think where, because I think the essence of it is, again, I have uploaded this story before, is that I'm guessing there must have been in, I think the likely suspect would have been the Crown, which kind of was on Shenley Road and also Theobald Street, because it was right on the corner. So it's probably more Shenley Road, but part of it was on Theobald Street, not far from the Wellington. And they used to have music on there, so that's what I reckon is where they were before the old green-eyed monster appeared. So I mean, this is my theory, which I have touched on a few times. They must have been in the Crown, because I don't think the Wellington would have been the place. The Crown was a really vibrant, good atmosphere for a Friday, Saturday night. Sadly now, they say it's now a Sainsbury's local. And they must have been in the Crown, boogieing away. Some bloke could have been in there, looking probably past the couple, maybe looking at a friend or whatever. But obviously, it's hard to tell if they're looking at you or looking at someone else, or someone just be at the side of you. I mean, because I don't think he would have looked at the lass. If it was quite obvious these were a couple, and it was obvious they were a couple, I don't think he would have antagonised the couple or the bloke. He probably unintentionally was looking at someone just to the left or to the right. But to them, it looks like he's looking at, well, to the bloke, it looks like he's looking at his bird. Even though he probably wasn't. Probably totally innocent. They must have had an argument. That is the boyfriend, the couple. She stormed out. He's followed soon after. Got onto Shenley Road proper. Started walking down an almost in perfect line of the doorway into, it's not Prince Pizza anymore. It still does the same shape, but different name. Stopped there. Had this blazing argument. It was more him than her. And eventually, like I said, he went that way, back in the direction of the Crown, and she went that way, heading down Shenley Road proper. I was wondering if they're still together, or was that the night that was the straw that brought the camel's back, and she fucked him off? Because obviously, if he is a jealous type, and especially if it's enhanced by a few cheeky sherbets, and it brings out the Hulk, the Incredible Hulk, although a very psychopathically jealous one, I bet she was glad to be rid of him. But for all we know, they could have kissed and made up. I mean, that's gone back to what, again, 2009, 2010. I mean, the chances are of anyone from the band, even if they don't exist more, Fireworks Night, who do remember playing that gig 16 years ago at the Gladstone Arms, or the Glad on Lant Street in the Borough. They go, oh yeah, I was the violinist. Oh, where's that footage? it's like snippets of them rehearsing, like doing a sound check as well in this really small pub. But as you know, patronised back in the day by Stockaken and Waterman and artistes. Oh, it's lovely and cold now. But you go inside, it's like a fucking pizza oven. Me at the aroma. So I'm going to do a lot more videos like this. And again, none of these have been rehearsed. None have been scripted. I've started off in a rather vague situation and then just gone off in a tangent somewhere. Even if sometimes I do repeat, like that story of that couple 16 years ago having an argument late on at night. Not long, maybe only a few, maybe 20 minutes before Prince Peter shut up for night. So we're talking maybe 11 at night. And it would have been a Saturday night when the Crown pub was still open for business as a pub, not as a Sainsbury's local. I can remember being there when the Crown had shut up shop. It wasn't a Sainsbury's. Do I remember it being a Sainsbury's? So if anyone comes across this video and they are a member of the band, or the former band Fireworks Night that did a gig at the Gladstone, if anyone remembers doing a anti-fascist, anti-racism gig at the Castle Haven open area near Camden, I think, which like obviously it was a free event in the community space, who had asked someone who put the video onto Facebook or YouTube if they could kind of remove the footage because they were to perform brilliantly that day. Obviously, like I said, I think they had a gig at a local bar later on that night, so that would have been a Saturday as well. Castle Haven open area, Castle Haven open community space.